I'm Ashley Anderson, and I'm a mobile horse trainer and people trainer that travels all over the state of Texas and surrounding states. Horses are amazing and beautiful creatures, but there are times when things can get pretty ugly. That's where I come in. I help problem horses become your dream horse. Horses usually aren't the problem, it's usually a people problem. Join me as I overcome some awful behaviors, problem solving, getting a good foundation, a tune up on your horse, or even improving your horsemanship. Through my videos, clinics, private and group lessons, and seminars, I hope you can learn something new. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Hey guys, so today I'm teaching how to introduce your horse to water or puddles or even mud on the ground. I decided to use Hemi because, as you can tell, he is really nervous about it. He's a very curious horse, but he's also unsure of things by himself. He really likes to have other horses around him, so I thought he'd be a good one to do this demonstration with. So of course, what I first did was I would lunge in front of the mud, and then I asked him to go over. So basically I'm just saying, hey, we're lunging for respect, but there's an obstacle in the way. So as you can tell, he doesn't like going in the mud, around the mud, in the ditch, anything. He is like really nervous about it. He's trying to see what he can get away with, and he's just kind of rushing as fast as he possibly can. So right here, I'm just going to kind of keep being consistent. Right there, he's saying, you can't catch me. I should have been a little bit faster there and said, oh, yes, I can. But I don't know if I was distracted or what with the mosquitoes there, but I didn't. So that was my fault there. But that's why he's rushing there. So I'm saying, oh, no, I can catch you. And he's kind of having a little hissy fit there. I'm just going to kind of ignore that. So I'm just going to keep acting like nothing happened and just keep asking him to go over. He's obviously not comfortable right now. So there's no reason to move on from here. He's getting a little bit better. He's kind of iffy on it. There we go. But he's not jumping around and kicking up and rushing as fast as he can go through now. So that's a lot better. I'm still not completely comfortable, so I'm still not going to finish up on I'm going to still going on the side and not complete it yet. You never want to change directions until you know your horse is confident, because you're not really accomplishing anything if you just end where he's still kind of rushing through things. Okay, so I'm just kind of moving my body, kind of getting him to get more in the mud there. There was a little puddle right there where he's walking. And I was lovely, covered in lots of mud. That's just kind of part of the deal, you know. Sometimes when horses say you can't catch me, you're going to have to go through water, or you're going to have to jump obstacles. So I'm just kind of brushing that mud off and keep going. And the biggest thing is, if you watch, my feet really don't move a lot. If I was to have a hula hoop around my feet, I wouldn't be exiting out other than when I moved over to get him more in the mud. A lot of people make a common mistake, and they just kind of chase after their horse. And you want the horse to be doing most of the movement there. Just remember, whoever moves first loses. So you always want your horse to be the first one to move, because you're gaining that respect there. Alright, so he's finally starting to kind of sniff around and check out what he's crossing over. I'm really not going to get after him on that, because that's a good sign of relaxing. He's kind of figuring out where exactly he's going. I'm just going to put that stick there by his eye so he doesn't kind of run over me. There, that was really nice. Now, I wouldn't really want him to eat. A lot of horses will actually eat when they're in fear. It's just kind of a habit that they have, kind of an instinct. So some people are like, oh, look, he's eating. That's a good sign. It's not really a good sign. Some horses will do it just because they're hungry or they think they need to eat grass. But a lot of horses you'll see that are really nervous and like really hot and nervous and breathing heavy, they'll start eating. That's not a sign of relaxation. That's a sign of they're scared and they're fearful. You'll see a lot of them like past gas or past poop. That's just them being a little nervous there. Alright, so I'm continuing to go the same way because he's still not 100% confident with that. He's getting there, but he's not there just yet. Now, if he was to continue to always just sniff the ground, or if he was to paw, I would ask him to keep going. I'm not getting after him for stopping because he's actually relaxing and kind of lowering his head. He's not eating grass, as you notice. He's not pawing the ground. He's kind of saying, accepting the fact that the mud's not really going to kill him. So there, I would even like Maybe flog him with kindness, throw my stick and string over his back, kind of desensitize him, kind of say, good boy. That's a good thing to do there. But he's nice and relaxed. He's not rushing, which is a big difference. Look, he's even sliding in the mud there, not caring. I really, really like that. Now he is a little bit close to me. I should have kind of moved him out a little bit more or shortened up my lead rope there. That was my fault there. But right there, I was trying to kind of desensitize him there and kind of say good boy, and he kind of freaked out about that. That's okay. Just kind of move on and ask him to keep going. So here I went ahead and stopped him and just kind of flogging him with kindness and desensitizing him. You can kind of see he's a little bit shy of it, so it's definitely something that's good to throw in there and get him used to that again. You always want to do tons and tons of desensitizing. You never can do enough, so it's not hurting him to do that. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and go the other way. He's pretty relaxed and not freaking out as bad as he did on the other side. That's a good sign. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad sign if your horse did. He's being a little buddy sour there. That's kind of why the horses were neighing, and he was like, I want to go back with them. Um, but horses have two brains. They have a lefty and a righty, so what they do on one side, they don't know, and they didn't learn on the other. So you have to do both sides of the brain. So if your horse freaks out worse on this other side, don't panic. You didn't do anything wrong. Just do what you first did and teach that side of the brain. So he's kind of being a little squirrely there. So now I want to go with my buddies. So this is a good example of what you would kind of do with a buddy sour horse. And this is Hemi's first time really outside doing groundwork. He's mainly been doing groundwork in the round pen. So this is a horse that's buddy sour, that doesn't have a lot of confidence in himself, that has never really had to cross puddles and mud, and first time out on the trails. So a good all-around horse to teach with on teaching your horse to go through mud. I like how he's kind of stopping and thinking. He's a really all-around good, smart horse. And this doesn't hurt the babies to do, you know. He'll be a year old in May. So I mean, he's obviously not old. So I mean, he's still got lots of years before he gets ridden. So this is something good to just get him out and kind of teach him groundwork. It always gets boring if you just spend your time in the round pen. Let horses kind of get out a little bit. And once again, that lead rope is really, really long, so I should have shortened it there. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and fast forward here. That yield was kind of a little bad there. I should have gotten onto him a little bit more. But I'm going to go ahead and fast forward and go to a different mud hole so you can kind of see what to do in that situation. So this one is actually water. It's obviously not super deep. It's just like about an inch or two of water. I went ahead and popped him there because he just wasn't really listening. So I'm introducing him before. I'm not asking him to go over until a couple circles later. Just getting him to kind of see that there's an obstacle there, and now, hey, you got to go over. So I'm using that stick to kind of push him around. Now here, he's actually drinking the water. A lot of people say, oh, pressure, 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 pressure. No, let him kind of think about that. Water's a good thing. If he wants to take a drink, he can take a drink. Kind of make it a good thing for him. Now, I wouldn't want the horse to lay down. If he was to lay down, I would have to kind of ask him to get up, and if you need to get aggressive with that to get him up, you don't want to just start popping him, but if he won't get up, you don't want him to learn that it's a good thing to lay down, because once he actually grows up to be ridden, what's he going to do when he goes in water? He's going to lay down. You never want him to get away with that. But drinking is okay. And see that curiosity is letting him kind of go further, and he's like, oh, it's just water, I can go through that. See, I'm not adding any pressure there. Let him relax. Now, if he doesn't go in a little bit, then I'll start adding that pressure. There we go. Okay, so I'm not gonna, this is a big sign of horses are about to lay down. I'm gonna let him commit to the mistake, because if I was getting on to him now, he doesn't really know what he did wrong other than pawing. I don't mind pawing because he's checking it out. So if he was to lay down, then I would ask him to keep going. But I'm not adding any pressure. I'm kind of letting him see that it's water. He can dig if he wants to dig, kind of check it out. Alright, and he didn't lay down. He's trying to change direction there. I'm just going to see right here. He's saying, you can't catch me. You're going to have to go through the water to get him. It's just kind of part of the deal. Alright, now I'm not going to let him do this every single time. It's just like eating or stopping and pawing on the ground. I mean, this is the same thing. He can do it a couple times and then it's time to work. But once again, I'm not putting pressure on because I think he's going to roll. I'm going to let him commit to that mistake. Right there, he's drinking. There we go. There, so see how I didn't let him keep doing it? He's already done it twice. There's no need to keep doing it. He knows it's there. Let's get a move on with things. There. So he's starting to get really confident with this. Really, really like that. Okay, so he's telling me that we need to work on yielding big time. Horses are always going to be 50% worse outside of the arena. So there was a problem with his yielding. And of course, it's been a while since I worked with him as well on it. We've been focusing a lot on just rubbing all around his belly and just kind of that kind of stuff. So it's been a while since he's actually had to work. So I'm just kind of letting him have his hissy fits and just going right back to what I asked. I don't let him kind of win. I just ask for it again. So I was wanting to change directions because he was confident. So I just kept going with it. And he's going to keep saying, yeah, I really like going the other way. Well, it's kind of like saying, you know, the ABCs, and I'll say the ABCs backwards. It's kind of saying that thing. So, or you're left-handed and now I want you to write right-handed. He's not comfortable with it yet, so he's got to learn. So you got to teach him and just be consistent with it. And in all reality, a horse needs about 3 to 4 days to learn an obstacle perfect. Of course, he's going to get better today, but he'll get better tomorrow and then even better the next day. And I do like to have protective boots on my horses, especially when I do obstacles, to protect their legs there. I'm using Legacy boots here. Really, you can use kind of whatever brand you want. But that's just going to protect his legs. horses are athletes, so we've got to take good care of them. Alright, and you kind of get the gist of this, you know. You're looking for him to get confident, you're looking for him to walk calmly around, and then you kind of go back and forth between it. You'll start switching sides. And I also did kind of run it. It stopped on there, but I also would run with him on the side and kind of make fun games out of it. And then from there, you can go into deeper water. So I wanted to make this, a lot of people do this mistake, and I did this on purpose, was they put their stick really high up in the air. If you see how he's panicking, you're really kind of making it way too obvious, and you're just kind of, you know, you're really nagging him, and it's, you know, when you go from being at the standstill and like pointing your stick down to like waving it way up in the air over his head, that's going to make a horse really nervous. So that's kind of a typical response that you would get from a horse. So if you notice that you your horse is always running around like crazy, you're like, why are you doing that? I'm trying to desensitize you. Check and see how you're holding your stick and string. Are you constantly nagging him, or are you keeping it down? You know, body language is a big part of horse training, and so that's just kind of one of the mistakes there that you can make. So thank you all so much for watching, and excited to get this next video up, actually going over water and Puddles under saddle, and I'm going to actually use the horse that hasn't been doing it on the ground yet. So you'll get to see kind of if you're on a trail ride and you run across it and you can't do groundwork, kind of what you do.